CTV Edmonton. Local breaking news with Miriam Valdez-Carletti.
Good evening. A former Edmonton Member of Parliament is making his return to politics after 17 years. This time, he's taking a run at the mayor's chair. Raheem Jaffer left federal politics in a cloud of controversies. As CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports, Jaffer's comeback is focused on resilience and pushing for change.
For the last 8 years, this has been Raheem Jaffer's office. Now he's got his eye on a higher one.
It's at 4 o'clock today if you're able to come. All right? Nice to see you.
Chatting with customers at the White Ave restaurant he took over from his parents has been a window into the issues Edmontonians are facing. Small business struggles are a common topic.
Most of them that you talk to along the avenue, even downtown or any part of the city, unfortunately, they're barely surviving. And that's just not what I remember Edmonton to be.
That nostalgia for a successful city he once knew is Jaffer's motivation for seeking its highest political office. There are now 6 candidates who filed nomination papers or intend to. One political analyst says edging out frontrunners like current councillors Tim Cardmell and Andrew Knack is a tall order for Jaffer.
You know, you've got to be in the public eye all the time so that people know who you are. And you know, 17 years out of politics, that's a long time.
Jaffer was certainly well known as a Conservative MP for Strathcona between 1997 and 2008. His scandals also earned him some attention. The time his executive assistant impersonated him on a national radio interview in 2001, or the impaired driving and drug possession charges against him in 2009.
This drug thing has just got carried away.
That's the end of his career.
Those charges were eventually downgraded to a careless driving charge he pled guilty to. Jaffer isn't shy about his past.
It's colorful, no doubt, but it's also all out there. I have no skeletons in my closet.
He says he's grown from those mistakes and is eager to show Edmontonians through his platform in the run-up to the September election. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
An Edmonton teacher is facing child sexual exploitation charges and is believed to have fled the country. Alberta Law Enforcement Response Teams has charged Jimmy Buenta with making, accessing, possessing, and transmitting child pornography. Police allege Buena used Facebook to upload sexual abuse material. Buena taught at St. Oscar Romero Catholic High School in West Edmonton. The Edmonton Catholic School Division says Buena's final day at the school was last Thursday. Police do not believe any student was involved in relation to charges. Alert is sharing the information in light of his position.
We still have a lot of our investigation to go, and that includes a review of any of the tech that we've received, and that's on our forensic examiners. A big part of the investigation is having them go through that, just so that we have an understanding of what exactly we're dealing with.
Alert believes Buena may now be in the Philippines. Edmonton police have charged a 30-year-old woman in connection to a sexual assault involving a teen. Police are concerned there may be more alleged victims. EPS say earlier this month, someone reported a relationship between a teenager and an adult soccer coach. The teen is getting support through the Zebra Child and Youth Advocacy Center. Vanessa Young has been charged with sexual assaults, sexual interference, sexual exploitation, and child luring. And the city of Edmonton is trying a different tack when it comes to improving safety around schools and playgrounds. It's pulling photo radar from those areas for good. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, the city wants to focus on permanent solutions.
A trip to the playground for Celia Hatherley means crossing this busy section of 118 Avenue.
You know, it's always the stressful part of the walk, because no matter how careful you are, the worry is always they're going to run away from you, and the cars are very fast there.
Your speed as a driver is your responsibility, and we're seeing the absolutely horrific impacts of that through the number of fatalities.
10 people have died on Edmonton roads so far this year.
We know that speeding's up, crashes are clearly up, but to be clear, those are happening in spaces outside of playgrounds.
The city says playground and school zones have high speed compliance and low crash volumes. Starting July 1st, photo radar trucks will be a thing of the past in these zones.
In most of them, we're looking at only 1 violation per hour. So that application of resources is not really getting us the best bang for our buck, given how safety's improved so much in these spaces with our investments over the years.
Photo radar trucks only target speeders and do not address other safety concerns that arise. That's why the city will instead focus on improving crosswalks, signage, and installing traffic calming measures.
Speed humps can actually reduce speeds up to 13 kilometers kilometers per hour. We've also seen traffic volume reductions of up to 27%. Curb extensions, like the ones that you see in this area here, reduce speeds up to 8 kilometers per hour.
This section of 118 Avenue outside Highland School is one of 2 selected for improvements this fall.
One will test reducing speed limits on arterial roads during school hours, using flashing beacons and bold pavement markings to signal to drivers that they're entering a school area.
As a parent, you take all the precautions you can, but there's always that worry that something will go wrong, and anything that the city can do to make our environment safer is always appreciated.
The other school hasn't been revealed yet, but will have measures installed to block illegal parking and stopping. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving is once again driving home the effects of impaired driving. MAD's Crashed Car campaign is back for the summer. It displays a wrecked car on the side of the road at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. MAD hopes it serves as a reminder of the dangers of getting behind the wheel while impaired.
Don't drive impaired. There are so many other options out on the road nowadays that we don't need to get behind the wheel after we've been drinking or doing any drugs.
MAD says 4 people are killed every day and 190 people are injured in impaired driving collisions across Canada. The crashed car will move around the city until the campaign ends in September. And 3 people were taken to hospital this morning after a car crashed into a building in West Edmonton. Police and paramedics were called to 163rd Street and 95th Avenue around 8:45 this morning. A green hatchback slammed into a pillar outside of Westgate Plaza. Police say there were 5 people inside the car, including 3 kids. All 3 were taken to hospital as a precaution. It's not known what caused the crash. Edmonton police have upgraded assault charges to second-degree murder after a man died following an attack last week. Police say last Thursday, officers responded to an assault near 95th Street and 106th Avenue. They found a man injured. He has been identified as 59-year-old Robert Gladue. On Sunday, he died from his injuries. Police say Gladue and the accused knew each other. After months of studying and weeks of finals, schools across the Edmonton area are out for the summer. Buildings like McNally High School are going to be a lot quieter over the next 2 months. Our cameras visited another Edmonton area school earlier today to see how end-of-year celebrations were going. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
I'm going to grade 3.
And were you excited for school?
Yeah.
It's been 1 school year since our cameras first visited Joseph M. Demko School in St. Albert. In that time, early excitement has given way to summer strategizing.
I'm getting happiness and excitement for summer.
I feel great, honestly. This year went by so fast.
I just want to make sure it's clear. You're all students here, right?
Yeah.
I'm not.
No?
A whole summer ahead, as well as the feeling of a weight lifted now that finals are finished.
It feels like I've lost 5 pounds of sweat just doing them.
There's also room for the familiar wistfulness as a period of life filled with memories comes to an end.
There are a lot of memories that I've had in this school for the past 3 years, but it's exciting to be able to go to high school next year.
Teachers aren't immune to those retrospective feelings either.
You don't really realize it until it's literally this last day and kids are leaving and they're saying goodbye. So it really has started to feel real today.
Even when you're out of school, keep in touch with your friends, right? And remember, the teachers, they have their lives too.
Not to say the summer months don't have their appeal.
I mean, the tea times are booked for Friday.
These young scholars will spend the summer a variety of ways. Teachers say they'll still be internalizing the important information they've learned.
Probably going to go camping, but I'll still be thinking about school, still be thinking about math, science, all of that stuff. Just, yeah.
Well, I'm sure everyone here will be.
I think they will.
Thinking about math, science?
No. Equations and calculations can wait, at least until the end of August. In St. Albert, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
The Edmonton Oilers have swung their first major deal of the offseason. Evander Kane is a Vancouver Canuck in exchange for a mid-round draft pick. CTV's Evan Kenny has more on his time in the city and the impact he leaves behind.
Push it, keep pushing.
The Edmonton Oilers are shipping out power forward Evander Kane to the Vancouver Canucks.
Bottom line, though, he was a good Oiler in his time here.
Tom Gazzola with Edmonton Sports Talk says the move was made to help the Oilers with the salary cap. The 33-year-old winger makes more than $5 million a year.
The cap space is vital, especially with the contracts that need to be signed. Obviously, Evan Bouchard. You've got Leon Draisaitl getting a nice uptick. You're going to have to sign Connor McDavid.
The hit to the Oilers lineup is also a hit to the community. During Kane's 4 years in Edmonton, he became involved with a number of different groups that included taking kids out Christmas shopping, plus work with the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer Society.
Sad, but I can still, it's not too far away.
That's how he became friends with 12-year-old Cecily Eklund. The two would hang out often, even going on a trip together.
We went to Disneyland once.
How cool was Disneyland?
So cool. He took me, and I actually, he got sick on one of the rides, and it was so funny.
Kane came to Edmonton carrying controversy, but is leaving as one of the fans' favorites.
I guess Vancouver will have to be my new favorite.
I'll give him a world of credit for what he did in this community. I mean, he is a hero, and he's looked up to by a lot of Oiler fans.
Kane put out a statement thanking the fans, saying, "Rogers Place was always electric, and I'm proud to have played in front of such a passionate hockey city. My family and I have built some incredible relationships that will last forever." Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
An Oilers off-ice staple has unique plans for the off-season.
We are called the Superfans because we are the Superfans of each other.
And the Edmonton Oilers.
Let's go.
Dad, say everybody, Nippy Scoo here. This is my husband,
Superfan Magoo.
This guy is one of the most...
Skylene and Blair Gladue, better known as Superfan Magoo, are contestants on this season of Amazing Race Canada. Eagle-eyed Oilers fans will have noticed the Superfans' absence from earlier rounds of the playoffs. That is when filming for the show took place. That weighed heavily on Magoo's mind.
If we do this, we're going to be gone for a month regardless, win or lose. And I'm going to miss the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. So if we lose in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, that's going to be on me. Superfan Magoo's not there. We lost because he wasn't there.
The Gladue say if they win, they will donate a portion of their money to youth causes. And of course, Superfan Magoo also says he will get season's tickets to the Oilers. The Amazing Race Canada airs beginning July 8th on CTV. With summer upon us, an elusive animal has been spotted more often roaming Edmonton streets. That's right, it's skunk season. From April to June, mothers make themselves at home under decks, porches, and sheds to give birth to have their littles. And now that they're older, skunk kits are starting to explore the city and surrounding areas. Wild North Animal Rescue says if you come across a skunk or kit, don't panic.
They're actually very unlikely to spray us. They only do as a last resort. They only have so much of that stinky fluid, and they have to replenish it once they use it, so they don't want to use it.
Wild North says city skunks are used to being around people and will show signs when you should back away. This includes stomping its feet, showing its teeth, and doing a handstand. One couple got a uniquely Canadian experience when they ended up face-to-face with a moose on the side of the road in Jasper. Kelly Paxian and her husband were driving down Moline Lake Road on Sunday morning when they noticed the moose on the side of the road. That's when the moose came right up alongside the car, even going so far as to sticking its nose inside the open passenger side window. Paxian says she's seen moose on that road before, but never anything quite as up close and personal as this.
He just seemed to be going about his day, and knowing what we know from our previous wildlife encounters, we were just like, we are just going to remain calm as possible and let the animal control the interaction. So we just let it play out.
In retrospect, Paxian says she probably should have closed the car's window. And there were no real hairy moments during the G7 summit in Kananaskis, with the exception of this one. Despite efforts to keep bears away, a grizzly dropped in for a visit at the Kananaskis golf course. The area was closed to visitors, but good luck keeping this big fellow away. Parks Canada says there are about 60 grizzlies living in K-Country. Coming up next, details on the province's plan to bring a railway master plan. And also just ahead, stories of survival in the mountains after 2 people were killed in a rock slide.
We were just all having lunch and kind of gazing at the waterfalls.
After some good storms made their way through the province today, still unsettled for the next few days. We could see some more thunderstorms in the forecast. After that, we clear out, we heat up. I have your full forecast details coming up.
The Alberta government is rolling ahead with potential plans for regional passenger rail. The Alberta government is hosting virtual sessions to provide an update on the development of its passenger rail master plan. The government's vision is to build a high-speed rail line between Edmonton and Calgary, a line from both downtown Edmonton and Calgary to each airport, rail to Banff and Jasper, and eventually lines to communities such as Fort McMurray and Grand Prairie. They are also strongly considering high-speed trains as well. Experts say with Alberta's fast-growing population, the province needs to plan ahead.
You can only build roads so big, you can only get so many vehicles, you can only park so many cars in certain spots. So we need other ways to move people between these cities, and the most efficient way to do it is through passenger trains.
The online session gets underway for people living in the Edmonton area earlier at 7. A province-wide session will be held tomorrow. Nearly a week after a deadly rock slide in Banff National Park, hikers are sharing harrowing stories of survival and moments of extraordinary passion. 2 people were killed, 3 were badly injured, and more than a dozen narrowly escaped while hiking near Bow Glacier Falls. CTV's Mark Villani has the story.
The photos from Bow Glacier Falls are breathtaking, and for Cindy MacArthur, June 19th was a picture-perfect day.
We were just all having lunch and kind of gazing at the waterfalls.
She was part of a group from the Slow and Steady hikers when suddenly a thunderous crack split the air.
And it was just huge. There were pieces like Legos starting to fall.
MacArthur dove to the side of the trail, narrowly escaping a boulder the size of a truck.
Oh my God, I had like a second. I was just like, God save us, please save us.
When the dust cleared, several hikers ran back to help the wounded. MacArthur says total strangers came together to care for the injured, including Uta Heinrichs. The 70-year-old nature lover and former instructor at the University of Alberta was killed in the slide.
And I said, hang in there, we're going to be here. And I just held her hand.
33-year-old Hamza Ben-Alal was also tragically killed. His best friend Khaled El Gamel survived, thanks in part to the team of hikers who refused to leave his side.
I said, you're not closing your eyes. And I just made sure I was keeping him completely focused.
But despite their own injuries and fear, the group sprang into action, offering water, calling for help, and staying with the injured until rescue crews arrived.
We all take care of each other. When you spend 6 to 8 hours together on a trail, I often tell people you can't help but be your most authentic self.
Slow and Steady group organizers say it's a testament to how prepared hikers have to be, using GPS satellite beacons and making sure they always have the proper equipment.
We share water, we share snacks, we share blankets, we share layers. That's what hikers do. It's a community and a family, and they all came together last Thursday in a beautiful way.
Parks Canada says the rockfall was a natural, unpredictable event. The trail to Bow Glacier Falls remains closed indefinitely. But in the face of tragedy, what endured was the instinct to help others.
Everybody's a team.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Alberta Health Services has lifted its water quality advisory for Hubbell's Lake. Earlier this month, AHS put out a warning about fecal bacteria in the lake west of Edmonton. It says the water quality has returned to an acceptable level for recreational activities on Allen Beach. AHS is reminding Albertans not to drink or cook with untreated water from lakes or reservoirs at any time. And the Edmonton Airport has become the first Canadian site for a new air traffic control system. The iTech Skynex system calculates flight paths, detects potential conflicts, and updates flight data in real time. Nav Canada says the Edmonton area was chosen since it's in the world's largest non-oceanic flight information region. It says Edmonton has 5 million square kilometers of airspace. Nav Canada describes the new system as going from MapQuest to Google Maps for aviation.
We shift to what's called on-time arrival rather than on-time departure. So you may think when you're on an aircraft, you push back early, you leave early. That sometimes works well if we can accommodate it. But what we need in aviation is predictability. We need people to be able to understand where things are going to be. I say it's a ballet that we have to orchestrate.
Nav Canada says with less time spent on the tarmac, planes will be emitting less carbon into the air. Coming up, a dancing sensation shares her moves in Edmonton.
It's impressive impressive to see how far dance can take people when there's like a competitiveness to it and so much passion and drive throughout the entire world.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Well, we saw quite the storms roll through the Edmonton area this afternoon. Small hail, heavy rain, and strong winds. It came in quick and it left quickly, and we could see a repeat of that in the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the almanac from today. We made it up to 24, average seasonal high 22, record value 30. We do have some temperatures in the long-range forecast getting closer to that. Not quite at the 30 range, but into the higher 20s. As we take a look at the highs from today, Peace River 24, Fort McMurray 25 in the south, Medicine Hat 29, Lethbridge 27. For us, 23 at the airport, but 24 downtown. So we did warm up quite nicely. As we take a look at the futurecast, as we start off tomorrow morning, there's a slight chance that we could see some scattered showers in the morning. The cloud will break, a mix of sun and cloud, but as we progress throughout the afternoon, a slight risk of thunderstorms. After that, we do see some clearing, and then for Friday, as we go throughout the early part of the day, a nice mix of sun and cloud, but Friday afternoon and especially Friday evening, more of a risk of thunderstorms once again, but a better risk as we progress throughout the late afternoon, evening on Friday. Saturday, things do start to settle down. Tomorrow morning, starting off right around 11, most temperatures throughout the province in the morning just below and just above 10 degrees. As we take a look at highs in the north, Fort McMurray 26, Cold Lake 24. Edson could see some afternoon thunderstorms. As we take a look at areas further south, sun and cloud, temperatures warmest for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat 25 and 27. For us here in Edmonton, overnight 17, slight chance of overnight showers and tomorrow morning as well, 14 to start off in the morning. Into the afternoon, 23, about a 40% chance we could see some showers, possibly some thunderstorms. Just keep an eye on the sky for changing conditions. As we take a look at Friday, 22, 40% chance in the afternoon, but a 60% chance in the evening of seeing some showers and possible thunderstorms. Slight chance of showers on Saturday at 22, Sunday 25, 28 on Monday. We have another hot day as we take a look. Canada Day 28 with the risk of thunderstorms later on. After that, temperatures do start to drop off, cooling below average seasonal high in the extended 10-day forecast.
An artist from Lacombe is helping bring some fairy magic to the village of Clive. Artist Mignonette Lamontague created 9 tiny handcrafted pieces for the village of Clive's fairy door trail. The village of Clive says the fairy doors are hidden across town in unexpected places like tree trunks or storefronts. Lamontague says she hopes her art inspires people's imagination.
It gives kids a chance to think their own stories up rather than being dictated or told what the story is. So for me, I thought it was a great way for kids to actually be able to look at something and they tell me the stories, what's going on.
Those with a keen eye might find hidden elements in the art like constellations or bugs native to Alberta. The Fairy Door Trail is free to visit and will be around all summer. For more information, you can visit lacombetourism.com. An international dance sensation is hoping to show local dancers some new moves. Dance influencer Giannina gave a master class at the Edmonton Dance Factory. The 20-year-old is known for her work on TikTok and reality TV show Dance Moms. With having more than 4 million followers, Giannina is teaching her choreography to dancers all across the globe.
It's impressive to see how far dance can take people when there's like a competitiveness to it and so much passion and drive throughout the entire world. But it's fulfilling to see that not only like where I'm from, New York, New Jersey, that it's everywhere.
Well, she's just inspiring, and to be able to express how she dances and to show us like what it's like to just be as a group and not to judge and always just to feel like a community. It's really nice to hear that from her.
Giannina held a class in Calgary as well and has plans to make more stops across Canada. And that's our show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back on the desk tomorrow night. Have a good night.